In today's episode, we talk about all the things that happen in our life and the choice that we have to fall forward. Hi, I'm Brooke Lyons. A few years ago, I lost 50 pounds and finally got my life back. I've uncovered the tools that allowed me to keep the weight off and help hundreds of my clients also lead a healthy and vibrant life. Losing weight is only the beginning, and being happy and healthy is so much more than just a number on the scale. So join me as we discover how to thrive beyond weight loss. Welcome back to Thrive Beyond Weight Loss. My name is Dr. Brooke Lyons.
And I'm Bri.
And we work together because we both have this passion and mission to change not only our lives, but the lives of other people.
Yes.
It comes, I think, sometimes when we go through hardship. Don't you find like when you go through a hard thing, you're like, I don't want anybody else to go through what I did. And legit, other people will. But then we have some wisdom to be able to say, okay, this is what I did. If they're receptive to listening to that or want that information,
Yes.
I think it just makes us better people. So
Really
you
true.
and I both went through really hard summers.
Yeah.
We didn't even know each other yet.
No, but we connected on that immediately.
And see, this is what I'm saying. You hear a lot about transparency and I don't love the word. It's becoming a little bit kitschy, but it's true. If we don't, and I'm not saying share your biggest, darkest secrets with a stranger. That's not what I'm saying. But we started talking about our health, and on another episode, you shared a little. Hopefully, you'll share a little more
Yes,
today.
I'd love to.
But today's the day that I get to share what's going on with me because I've never really talked about it, especially publicly. I have been on this weight loss journey. Look, I never had to worry about weight before. I've been a chiropractor for over 25 years. I was a professional cheerleader. My body was healthy and I didn't have to think about it. Actually, sometimes I did. I have this great story about Anne, our choreographer. Because I'm tall, I'm 5'8", so my butt needed to be the size of the 5-foot woman as well. And so, because she go along the lineup, and because she knew back then, anyways. If somebody looked bigger, they're going to get picked on for that, and they're going to miss the squad's beauty. They're going to just see that it's ridiculous, but it's true.
Yeah.
And so, anyways, there was once when I was eating half the bun on a delicious meatball sandwich every lunch, and also my my addiction that I was doing. But the addiction was keeping me at the weight that I was, and I had to meet weight within 4 pounds, or I wouldn't get on the field. And so you work hard to maintain, but all of a sudden I was inching up and getting within 1 pound of that, and then I was on it. And she's like, "Girl, if you go up, you're not on the team anymore." And so I was like, "Help me! I don't know what I'm doing." And do you know it was just that bun, that one half of a bun, that was tipping the scales, literally tipping the scales. But this summer, my scales were tipped, and I started to gain some squishiness, which I had been able to avoid for 3 years. And but I was still active on the program, or so I thought, honestly. But all of us, no matter what we do, it's really, I don't want to say a challenge, but it is a challenge to keep on doing it authentically. And because we travel so much, you know what had happened? I was starting to do this chocolate muffin. It was my treat. Like, we're going on an adventure again. And usually it's for work when we're going on these adventures, but Dan and I love to be together, and we love to do these things together. So regardless of whether it's work or not, we choose to have fun with it. So I was eating this chocolate muffin. Well, when we were traveling every single week, guess what? The chocolate muffin was happening. And then when I started to look at it, there was a couple more things happening. But here's why, is because I was in bed almost every day for this summer. And I didn't really tell anybody. Some of my closest friends kind of knew that I was really exhausted. But to be honest with you, by the end of 2 months of not really being, I came to work every Tuesday. My assistant at the time, my daughter, Victoria, I said, get me to Tuesdays because I can do a Tuesday, but I'm going to have to sleep all day Monday and sleep Wednesday to just recover and prepare. And so my daughter knew because she lives with us again. So I finally got some blood tests. I don't know, whatever your profession is, I'm in healthcare. And so when you're in healthcare and you don't feel good, you feel really embarrassed about it. It's just a thing. It is. It's why when I did that first weight loss, I did one weight loss system and it was horrible. It is the foundation of what I don't do in my business, though. So it was a blessing, but not at the time it wasn't, because I just gained 30 pounds just before I hit menopause when I added 20 to that. But anyways, I didn't want to admit that I had a problem because I just wanted it to go away because I'm healthy and we make healthy choices. But it wasn't shaking. So one of my girlfriends from seminars, Lisa M, I love you, girl, because she said, you need to know if it's cancer, because that's what I thought it was.
Yeah.
I was bloating. Even the guys, our producers, know that we record in the morning because by lunchtime I was so bloated that I would need a size larger in my shirt. It was coming on for a long time. When I got the blood test, thank God I did, because I found out that I had become diabetic -1 point. So basically, right? All of my numbers were off of everything. It's a miracle. When I talked to the physician, she was like, "It's a miracle that you were as good as you are,"
Yeah.
because everything was off. It's why I started getting squishy again. But I couldn't wake up, and we found out it was long COVID. You know, in December, in my whole marriage, I don't think I've been sick 6 times, but I was down, like down. And in January, February, March, in April, we went to Brazil and we got off the plane and I was down for 4 days. My body just couldn't do it because I wasn't back, right? And then we did 2 weeks there. I did pretty much a week and a half. Awesome. I had all my energy back. It was so much fun. We did all kinds of cool things. We flew out to Chile after that. And on the way from Chile, thank God we were upgraded to first class because it had that bed.
Yes.
And I slept the entire time with like tissues stuck up my nose because it was happening again. And then I spent 2.5 months in bed, except for Tuesdays. Except for Tuesdays. And so, you know, not feeling good sucks.
Yeah.
It just sucks.
In so many ways.
Oh gosh, and it makes us dependent on others. It makes us prepare and think about like who is paying the bills. That's my responsibility in our family. Also, my husband eats completely differently than I do, and we don't see it as a burden. It's like, yay, because I get to do what I want to do, but I make my own meals, right? And so luckily my daughter was like, what can I do for you? And I was like, could you just cook pan of chicken so it's all there for me to just eat when I can.
Right.
Actually, I didn't not eat. I just needed food there because I could hardly like really stand up to just, it was crazy how down I was. I really thought I was dying. But to find out that it was long COVID, that's an answer.
Yeah, and it makes sense. I mean,
It did.
it gave you some relief, I'm sure, in many ways, but
Also
get
gave me a
some
protocol.
answers. Yeah.
Because then this was a health-based practitioner, doesn't do drugs and surgery. And so she was like, this is what you're going to do. Let's see. You should feel good pretty much right away. I did. And that's good because the week later I was going on that yearly hiking trip with my girlfriends. So I told the gal that's my closest friend, and I was like, I don't even know if I can go out every day. I will try. Maybe I'll be the dinner maker. I'm not going. But I did every single walk. So the protocol worked. It was great. And it was,
incredible.
it was all kinds of things that were just healthy for my body, but with the focus of this is what's going on helped. But I think today I wanted to talk with you because we have touched base a little bit on, oh my gosh, how it feels to be a highly productive person doing things for our family, doing things for our businesses, doing things for the community, and then
Bam.
nothing. I've been depressed in my life. Like, and I feel like I'm talking nonstop here, and I want to hear your thoughts on it too. But when I was in school, I actually bought secondhand books because I was Canadian, didn't have money. Long story, but I bought a book with a suicide note in it once.
Oh my gosh.
And I bought it from the girl who wrote the letter. So I was like, okay, she made it,
Yeah.
so I can make it. And I've told that story over and over again throughout my life.
Wow.
Because this is the key. Like, I'm so glad you're here today because you don't have to do this alone. Sometimes we do. I thought that I needed to be alone because I was embarrassed because I'm a healthcare practitioner. Why don't I know how to lose weight? It's because we don't learn how to lose weight. We learn to do the things we're supposed to do in our practice. And so I had a depression this time, and I had like in the book that was like it's called PNS, peripheral nervous system. And the teacher that we had, you had to know every single nerve of the body. There are lots, where it starts, where it ends, how it performs. I mean, everything that it touched. If you adjust a certain segment, why that would be affected. Like I used to get migraines, but it wasn't my neck that was the problem. It was my lower spine. Why, how that works.
Yeah.
Ear infections, grumpy babies, why you would check this segment because they will, affect the blood supply of this. It was hardcore. And I did that class 3 times. I did the class 3 times, and I'm not going to be embarrassed to tell you that because now that I have authority over these things, I can tell you the truth because I'm not embarrassed about them anymore. But because also you may have done classes over and over again. You might have been my husband didn't even study and got A's in all those classes. God bless him. But I was so depressed. I thought that was the deep depth of my depression. But that was only me in my life back then. This was something different. And I wasn't getting the nutrition I needed. My body wasn't able to move. It was just purely trying to deal with what was going on inside physiologically.
Survival mode.
And I felt so deeply depressed. I didn't even understand that. Now I will have so much more understanding. I will never know what a person goes through. It's all individual. But I can say to a client who's like, I have depression, I will be like, tell me more about that.
Yeah.
Because it was deep. So we were connecting a little bit before the segment about like you've had a couple of surgeries and then some things went wrong and you had to go back and have like you thought it was solved, right?
Yes.
And so you went down that, came back up and were like, boom, back down again.
Back to recovery again.
Tell me about how that felt for you.
It was very devastating.
Yeah.
I mean, I was at the end and I saw a light of, the 3 months or so of recovery, getting back to normal, feeling good, because even prior to my hysterectomy is obviously why I wanted the hysterectomy was because I felt so miserable. So like I had just this light at the end and I just reached it and then I had to go back in for the surgery. To have the repair done. And it was that first week of being back home, I was very down on myself, very down, but there's nothing, I just had to let it go and it was out of my control and realize that, I wasn't in pain like I was prior to the surgery. I tried to think of the positives of it.
It's smart.
Yeah. But
that's hard to do sometimes because I feel like when we're spiraling down, we add to the weight.
Oh, yeah.
And I'll never be able to do this again and I can't. And there's something wrong with me. I hear a lot of that. Like, there's something wrong with my body. Like, my hormones must be off. And I don't even test for hormones. I just don't. We don't need to. We know there's something wrong with your body. Right. It's always fun to see those numbers, but you don't need to spend that money right now. We know there's something going on with your hormones.
Yeah. It wasn't always like I had days where I just cry and had a pity party for myself because I'm just like, why do I feel like this?
Yes.
And why is this happening to me? I think that's something people will say, but in the end, it's, I'm here and I'm healthy now and we'll get back to the gym and those types of things. And there's other ways of maintaining your health. And I really just needed to realize that. And I was very stuck.
Yeah.
But,
and I'd love to, if you don't mind, reframe a word you said, which was, you were just talking about a pity party. And, I just want to talk about the pity party for a little while because even when we're sick, like we try hard not to use those words in the office because if we are not sleeping, we're waking up really early, we're making food for everybody, we're doing everybody's laundry, even though they're 15, or I taught my kids when they were 9. And they didn't always do it great, but they did it.
Yeah.
And I would guide them. I wasn't absent, but I wanted my son to be a good man when he left the house to know that nobody needs to take care of him. He can do these things. I also wanted my daughter to have responsibility because as a woman, I know we build upon things like this is our responsibility here, but we are capable. So we keep on adding, but then to also be able to ask for help when maybe she's not going to do her laundry forever. Maybe she'll have a position where she can ask somebody else to do that. Right. So it was always learning for me, but the pity party is like it just makes me want to hug you, right? Because you were doing all these things, you were taking care of your family, you were going through emotional things, so were your kids, you're dealing with that, you got a new person in the mix.
Yes.
Like all these things are happening. And then when we have our body say, enough, I'm gonna take you off of this system for a minute, we think that's failure.
Every time.
Feels like failure.
Yeah.
But I'd love to introduce the idea that we are not sick. Our body is giving us an opportunity to change how we've been doing that. If we're going to bed at 2 and waking up at 4, make sure we can have time in our Bible or our meditation or making everything work for everybody else. Guess what? That's not enough sleep for you. No. And you are going to have a time. One of our producers, Tony, was talking in just a minute about how like family vacations, if his kids were going, guess what? Those littles had meltdowns, torrential, horrible, and that's embarrassing. But it's also then like we're tired too if we're running off like steam. And so it gives us a different reaction to that meltdown. He didn't talk about that, but I've had children with meltdowns. Oh, yes. I've had one child who was pure meltdowns nonstop. And if we're not deciding that that is just him getting to the top of what he can tolerate at his little age, and getting steam off to get that out so he can just build it back up again or find ways to not build it back up again. But he was little when these things were happening. We're always being given these tips about our soul and all our journey, I think, anyway.
Yeah, it's true.
So if something's upsetting us or we're thinking negatively about any situation, there are no mistakes. It sucks when a bad thing's happening, let me tell you, because bad things happen in our life too. Even just losing my Keela at the hotel meant a lot more work for me. But you know, it's our resolution to just keep calm and carry on every day, maybe.
Yeah, and learn something new.
Yeah,
and
can be exciting.
It can be exciting, yes, and just a different perspective every time.
Yeah,
and it's okay to have. Cry, to be sad, to feel bad for yourself. You're struggling. It's okay. Give yourself grace and be like, it's okay, and ask for help or take a break. And
all the most horrible things you've ever heard of, right? Ask for help. Take a break. Let somebody else do it. But this is why we want to talk about these things, because if you're not in that crisis right now, to just decide, like, you know what, it would be okay if somebody came in and did my laundry if I was down and out and needed to heal.
Right.
I saw this a lot because when I was in chiropractic, it was pediatrics, mostly babies, sometimes pregnant moms, and a few 94-year-olds, honestly, but whatever. Just the craniosacral work I do, it was really helpful to some of them. But, if we plan ahead of time what we want, then like so many of those new moms were like, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. And then they don't understand why their baby is colicky.
Right.
And sometimes it's not even physiological. It's just they're reading off of your energy and you're not sleeping. You're not doing all the things, but nothing really for peace. So as soon as I'd say like, can you go to bed earlier tonight and do that for a full week? She's like, what's that got to do with my crying baby? And I'd be like, sometimes they read from us.
Yeah.
They still read from my 20-year-olds still read from me.
Yes.
I recently found out that, so we were at dinner and we drove out to Door County to go just for like a hike. My son and my daughter, my daughter couldn't make it with my husband. And it was lunch. And I was so like in my happy place because I love having my children around. My son doesn't live with us anymore. So I sat back in my chair and I was like, and my son goes, are you okay? And I'm like,
yeah.
I was shocked actually by his response. And I was like, yeah, I'm just so happy right now. I'm chilling out. And he's like, and he literally shook his head. He's like, are you sure? So here's what I was like, I'm just curious about your response. And when he was young, I would have been like, what's your problem? Why are you shaking your head at me? Like,
yeah.
But I'm older and have been doing a lot of, honestly, self-work in especially last year. Although I've always been doing it. But anyways, I was just like, I try now in all situations to lead with curiosity and laughter.
I love that, yeah.
And so I was like, oh, what was that all about? Like, what are you talking about? He goes, and first he's like closed off because he doesn't, in his memory, I'm getting mad at him, right? And so I was like, no, really, like, just share. I'm so curious about this. And he's like, well, I guess like if you sighed, that means you're like so fed up and you're trying to take a breath so that you probably don't like get mad at us or something. So I loved his heart and the honesty of because that's one of my main important things I wanted to raise the kids with. Don't you lie to us. Don't you hide from us. I don't care who you are. I want to know you.
Yes.
Not who you pretend to be. Not even who you pretend to be out in the world, because sometimes we do that to protect ourselves. But here he was like giving me an honest thing. And so I was just like, oh, yeah. And I shared the stuff I just shared. Like, oh, I was probably mad at you if you were touching me like I was already stressed out and you're like, Mom, I see you're stressed,
Yeah, that's eye-opening.
Right?
Wow.
Yeah. So, but if we can talk about these things before we're there, if you can, hear my experience, then you're like, oh, before I get pissed off, I could just walk away and not get there. Then we just all can live this better experience. And I don't know, it's for me, laughter and curiosity. I can't tell you how much stuff I've learned just from that one perspective. It's cool.
Yeah, more positive. And I loved that leading with curiosity.
Yeah. What's that all about? But knowing that they might be so trigger happy from their
past experiences. Yeah, we all, I think that's why we get triggered easily with certain things. And in new relationships or any type of relationship, it's something that's happened in our past that makes us triggered and react a certain way.
Yeah. So maybe just take today's deep dive is like, what am I reacting in a way that I don't want to? And it doesn't have to be negatively. Sometimes we do, like, I don't remember if it's this episode or not, we talk about cupcakes and the lady who gives her heart into these cupcakes, but we don't want to eat them necessarily, especially not every week or every day. But what are we doing? What is our service towards others that might be depleting us?
Yes.
And so that when we are down and out, we feel responsible for everybody else. Like recently I taught my husband how to do the bills. What if I drop dead tomorrow? That man had no idea where our stuff was, how to do that.
Right.
Very often women will have that happen when their husband dies because he's taking care of everything and they have no idea.
That was me with the divorce.
Oh, see?
Because I was a stay-at-home mom and I had to learn everything.
Yes, see?
Yeah.
And so let's just think about how we're reacting to some things. It's usually, I always say it's always in the emotions. If we're feeling great about it, keep doing it. It's a positive sign that things are fine. Well, don't think that happy is the end result, because you could be on serious drugs and feel happy, but that's not maybe the way you want to live. But we always say you could be a crack addict in a crack house and happy. Is that how you want to be? So make decisions that lead you away from that. But if you're feeling not at ease with something, there's a message in there.
Right.
Those messages will come for the rest of our lives. We can bury them. We can take the hole and fill it up with food, anything that's feeling addictive. We can stay up till 4 o'clock for our peaceful time. If we are waking up crabby, unable to do the things that we desire to do in our life, that's not serving you. And this is a personal experience speaking. So what is making you cranky these days? And
it's triggering you.
What's triggering you?
Yeah.
And secret sauce is it's not about anybody else. They're probably triggering you, but it's because something needs to be resolved within you.
Yes.
Yep.
100%.
So when are you feeling guilty for asking for what you need? Because God will, this is how I speak. You can, universe, however you want to speak it. But to me, God is always conspiring in my favor. So those 2.5 months were me not actually finding the personnel around, the team that I needed to do the big things that I wanted, that are in my heart. Right. Also, one of my good friends said, she introduced me as brilliant this weekend. And I was like, that's weird. Your friends don't say those things. You know what I mean? You're not usually in the place where you can do it. But she was introducing me at a seminar. And so I sat down for a good hour and probably didn't hear a lot of what they said, but am I fulfilling what that word said? And the truth was no. And the truth was I was down for 2.5 months so that Bri would be ready to come out here and do this with me. Because in a month, what we've created is crazy, awesome. You're going to have so many resources and awesome things to benefit from. Right. But I couldn't have known that if I also didn't hit that depression piece.
Yeah, that's a great perspective. I love that.
Yeah. So thank you for sharing a little bit about what you go through. this is what we want to do together. Is we have so many experiences and good and bad. So we're going to keep on sharing them with you. Keep on watching Thrive Beyond Weight Loss. We're just so honored that you're here today. Let us know some of your questions. Reach out to support@mybodybella.com. That's also our website. And ask us anything so that we can start really answering your questions, because it's kind of a one-way street when we're doing the podcast like this. So we can't wait to see you next time. Keep going.
The views, thoughts, and opinions expressed on the Thrive Beyond Weight Loss podcast belong solely to the host and guest speakers and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of any associated organizations or health professionals. The content provided is for informational purposes only and is not intended as medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Always consult a qualified healthcare provider with any questions regarding a medical condition or health objectives.